Hello, hello. Hey, everybody. Natalie Cutler-Welsh here. Welcome back to another episode of the Up Your Brave live stream series. This is the opportunity on a Fab Friday when I get to connect with someone amazing, to shine light on their journey and what they're doing, because collectively what I'm doing, what I'm hoping to do, is to massively raise the state of resilience, health, and happiness here in New Zealand and on a global scale. And today I'm excited to have Phil Holland from Love Your Business. Hey, Phil, how are you?
Hey, I'm awesome. Thanks for the invite along.
Very cool. I'm so pumped to dive into this topic today. We're talking about love your business and how to love your business and stop sabotaging. That is the name of your business, Love Your Business. And I adore this topic because so many people I work with, they either are not loving what they're doing because they're working too hard or they're not making enough money, or they started off with a passion project, something they did love. And as an entrepreneur, as you know, you got to juggle all the balls. You got to wear all the hats, and it's exhausting. And not everyone has skills in all the areas. So I am so excited to hear your wisdom that you've got to share. And I know you've coached a lot of businesses pre-COVID, but definitely through COVID as they have to pivot and stay in what I call the zone of love. So very excited to have you here. So before we dive in, I'm going to do a little bit of a backstory on you. For those of you that are watching, I can see you there. Well, I can't see you, but I can see the numbers. Please go ahead and let us know. Hey, let's use this as a networking opportunity. Let us know what your business is. Give us the name of your business. You can pop a link if you want in the chat box as well. If you don't have a business, that's fine. Let us know where you are. And I'm going to read a little bit of backstory on Phil. So Phil Holland is not your typical business coach. Yes, he does traditional business coaching, like helping clients to make a heap more profit, but he's cracked the code as to why most business owners do not love what they do. Because if you don't love what you do, you'll sabotage all the opportunities you have to make more money. Simple as that. Phil realized that the level of frustration, overwhelm, anxiety, stress, dissatisfaction, and performance that business owners were experiencing was directly linked to their love that they had for their business. No matter how much consulting, coaching, or strategy plans he put into place for business owners, they would sabotage these if they weren't present to loving their business. Yes, love it. I'm so excited to dive in. Hey, Rena, thank you for watching. So Phil, let's do it. I mean, before we get into the nuts and bolts of it, can you give us a little bit more backstory? Paint us a picture. How did you get to be doing all this amazing work, helping businesses to love what they do?
Yeah, absolutely. And quite simply put, why do I do what I do and how do I get to this journey? Is because years ago, I didn't love my business. And I was sabotaging my life and my business and my relationships and everything around me. And so that was I guess the real turning point. But to go back, life's a journey. And to me, I guess the best part of our business or life is the actual journey as well. And when I reflect back on my journey from, being kicked out of home when I was 18 to, getting married young, having 3 amazing daughters, growing some big firms. I grew one firm from 4 staff to 70 in the space of about 4.5 years, to then experiencing what I call a Mack truck moment. I got the Mack truck and I got the trailer. So that double whamming and just feeling that complete overwhelm, anxiety. And to be quite frank, in 2014, I did not want to be here. I was driving up to Auckland along the motorway. The car sped up to like 150k an hour. Straight towards one of the barriers, and thank goodness something turned me off and I pulled over and burst into tears. And that at the time it wasn't much fun, but when I reflect back now, that was the turning point for me to go, what am I doing? There's more to life than flogging my butt off, making some good money, but not loving what I was doing. And so it was out of that journey that I started, I guess, my journey, my mindset process. I invested a lot of money and time into so-called gurus and all reading stuff and doing courses and doing all this stuff. And then the penny dropped. And when it drops, it's a really cool moment. When you start to realize that actually you got a choice. You got a choice how you show up. You got a choice of how you feel. You got a choice to love your business. And that led me down the journey of, after the frustration of, the old saying, you can lead a horse to water, you can't make it drink. And I remember so many clients when I was doing the consulting type work that it was just bang your head against the brick wall. It's like, dude, you have got an awesome business. And I remember one client particularly, he just wouldn't. Horse to water, right? I said, look, give me the keys to your business. It's got huge opportunity. Let's do it, But again, that's part of the journey that got me to the point of being fascinated by where mindset fits into business. Because most traditional business coaching consultings is all around how to make more profit, how to drive the sales, how to do this, how to do that. When in fact, most of my clients, we spend, I don't know, probably over half our time on more the mindset side of things and where they're at and forgetting the how and then putting the plans in place. And by default, they're, they make more profit, they have more fun, and they have more freedom. But yeah, that's been the journey, and it's still an ongoing journey, which is again is the cool part about what I do and about life.
Yeah, well, hey, thank you for sharing that and the transparency of that. And imagine if you hadn't made the change, who knows where you'd be. But it's interesting. I love what you said about, you kind of said something that I love saying, which is my version is you are the CEO of your own life. And I tell people that all the time because what I see is a lot of complaining and blaming from some people. And part of it is mindset, but part of it is just they're not like taking ownership or realizing that they can make a change. So I'm excited to hear, I don't know if you want to share one of the activities maybe during our chat today that you do with some of your clients, because mindset is a big topic and it's not just self-belief. It's there's so much more. So I'd love to hear a little bit more detail on how you work with people.
Yeah, we'll absolutely nail that today.
Yeah, let's talk a little bit about sabotage. So what have you seen people doing that, and how can if they are sabotaging themselves and they recognize it, how can they change direction?
Yeah, so you've mentioned the two key parts right there. And the first one is awareness. So in the past, I can put my hand up and go, meet Phil, I am a professional saboteur. To be frank, I was really good at it. Certainly not aware of it. I take the piss out of myself all the time, right? I'm a first team prop from Tauranga Boys College, right? Completely unaware of what mindset was all about, what sabotage is all about. And what I learned is to keep things simple. And so for me, sabotage has just been aware. Now, obviously, wheels fall off type moments, that's big, deep stuff. But to track back, and I've spent years just, I guess, going up the cycle of doom is what I call it, to track back to those pieces or moments or thoughts or feelings that forms part of my sabotage cycle. And so for me, again, it's just that awareness, because when you're aware, then you got a choice, right? Then you can get into action. So simple ACA, awareness, choice, action. So if you can simplify all of that down, it's not about psychoanalyzing the crap out of why we're doing that, or it's just simple, oh shit, I'm sabotaging again. What crap, what's going on? Move. And I guess that's the bit that worked for me is, and you mentioned before, the huge world of mindset. And it is a huge world. And to be quite frank, there's a lot of gurus out there. There's a lot of experts. There's a lot of, don't get me wrong, there's some really good people out there. But generally speaking, it's all overcomplicated to sell more stuff. And that was, I guess, part of the crusade for me when I talked about the penny dropping, was keeping mindset as simple as everything else. And so that's really the crusade that I'm on for myself and for business owners. So I'm 100% passionate about business owners, is keep mindset simple. And sabotage is really simple. It's natural. It's normal. Most of us run a not good enough type theme. Ironically enough, in the exercise that I do with clients, I call it the don't be a dick model. You got to have a bit of fun with what we're doing, right? But green, red zone. Green zone is positive, empowered, connected, whatever you want to call it. And red zone for me, just disconnected, disempowered, negative, right? And so when you're in the red zone, stop being a dick and get your ass back into the green zone, right? So when you can simplify mindset down to that level, it can have a positive impact on anybody. Whether it be, for example, a young 16-year-old girl I sat in front of a couple of years ago, tried to commit suicide the night before, that morning, went through the process, sat down with her for about an hour and a half. They couldn't get any emergency help. By the end of it, she had written out a plan of goals, and I only found out about 6 months ago that she's actually become a vet nurse, which is what her goals were. And again, when you can simplify it and take out all the clutter, it works. And as I say, if a first team prop from Tauranga Boys College can get it and morph, anybody can.
I love
a little bit of a rabbit hole there, but
Don't get stuck in the back, like the story and the how and the why and the, people do psychoanalyze and they do go over
100%.
old terrain and they
Yeah,
cement that story. It's like, yada, yada, let's move on. Where do you want to go? And I love your style. It's so in line with what I'm talking about. You even talk about the zones, the red and the green. I talk about people that live in the disconnected zone, the frustration zone, the should zone, and I want to get to the impact zone. I think we can all get to the impact zone. And when you're
absolutely.
loving what you're doing, you're in the impact zone, like literally.
100%.
There's this post that I shared on Instagram from my friend Lauren Parsons. She had posted it, and it's so simple. It says, make a list of things that make you happy. Make a list of things you do every day. Compare the lists. Adjust accordingly.
100%. In fact, I just came from a client. It was exactly that discussion. We just liken it to a bus. The business is a bus. We need a driver on the bus, which is typically the business owner, although normally they're sitting in the back seat. So getting the business owner to be the driver on the bus, getting the right people on the bus and the right seats. Now, we talked today about just fine-tuning the engine, i.e. the senior management team, to make the bus go faster. When you can simplify down that sort of stuff, it just, rather than, oh my God, we've got a problem here and here and here and here, it just keeps it simple.
Oh, so good. I love these analogies as well. And I loved your acronym. You had ACA, awareness, choice, and action. So good.
100%. You've got to be aware first, and there's a lot of awareness-based type training out there. There's, awareness is 100% everything, but don't psychoanalyze it. So for example, I call them red zone drivers, and there's usually 3 red zone type drivers. And as I'm saying, most of my clients that I've done the process with generally have a not good enough or confused type theme. Not good enough is generally the reason that they've gone into being a business owner, right? Because they were pissed off by their boss, and in the past it didn't feel good enough. Right, I'm going to do it myself. I would venture to say probably 80% of most business owners have that theme. Now, I've got a not good enough, a confused, and an alone theme, right? I know that. I own it. When they come up, and they come up all the time, I go into my red zone all the time. Now, the difference is in the mastery of what I call the mastery of mindset is not how often you go into your red, right? Life's designed that way. You don't just meditate in the morning and go and have an amazing day, because then some prick cuts you off as you're driving out the road, or you get a phone call from a supplier or a client, or one of the kids crashes the car, or, it's just so much designed to trigger us and to put us back into that red. The mastery is not the fact you ever go into your red zone. The mastery is how long you stay there. And that's 100% the key. So that's the awareness part. Then you have a choice to make. Where do you want to stay? You can either stay in frustration, overwhelm, stress, anxiety. I mean, the list goes on, right? We could talk all day about all the symptoms, but just underlying cause, oh crap, I'm in my red zone, move. So that's
you mentioned alone. You mentioned alone for yourself.
Yeah.
What do you mean by that?
So it means different things for different people. But for me was that I'm a yes man. So when I'm in my red zone and I'm triggered by alone, I'm like, the little dogs at the back of the, I'm like one of those, right? And most people that have an alone type theme are, they don't want to let people down. They'll always say yes just to please people. They crave attention, or when they're triggered, they'll go right into their shell and shut down. So again, when you understand that, you can start to cycle up what I call the spiral of doom, and start to understand, okay, when I'm starting to shut down, or I don't want to have that conversation, or my wife asks me what's going on, and I go, nothing, everything's fine, right? Okay, it's probably a sign that I'm stuck in my red zone. I need to sort my crap out there. So it's again that awareness piece of understanding it. Anxiety was a massive one for me. After the Mack truck type experience in the business, I think my worst anxiety was like maybe 3, 4 to 5 days, pretty well paralyzed in bed, not being able to do anything. Wasn't much fun when I look back at it. Whereas now I trap my anxiety back. If I get a little nervous feeling in my sternum here, right, that's my anxiety. Oh, hang about, where am I? Oh crap, I'm in my red zone again. I'm now aware. Now I've got a choice to make. Oh, I can go down that rabbit hole and have full blown anxiety again and be there, or I can get my ass back over to the green zone again. So again, just everything, I guess, keeping everything as simple as possible. That's how I see mindset, but how I also see business as well. We overcomplicate our life, mindset, business, day-to-day stuff, everything, just with everything that's out there is designed to overcomplicate it.
So for those of you guys that are watching us live or watching us later, go ahead and comment if you dare. to up your brave and share with us, how do you sabotage yourself? Does the alone thing resonate with you? That Phil's mentioning, or do you tend to, because I'm such a starter, I'm such a go-getter, I will probably sabotage myself by saying yes to too many things. Now I don't think it's people pleasing. I think it's just, I'm just so excited. I just want to make such a big impact. Like, in fact, yesterday I was talking to a friend of mine. She also is Canadian. She also lives in New Zealand. And she said, Nat, I see you on social media. You're doing so many things. Do you still love what you do? Or are you spreading yourself too thin? And I was like, babe, I always love what I do, because my philosophy is if you don't love it, don't do it. But 100%. I'm always spreading myself too thin. Like, we laughed about it, but it's true. Like, I'm always have new ideas. I'm an action taker, and I have so many things, and I'm not a great delegator. I said, I don't even have a cleaner, but I do have an admin person that helps me in my business. And she was like, thank goodness, because I'm worried. I was like, no, it's all good. But so what advice do you have for people like me we say yes because we genuinely want to? It's not guilt. It's not shame. It's not people pleasing. But then we got a lot of pots on the boil.
Yeah, 100%. And you're like almost a mirror image of myself. Very much the same. When I can understand that there's always two sides of it, right? You got red zone, green zone. Fear's a classic. There's a red zone fear. Don't jump off that 10-story building. It's it's not going to end well for you. Green zone fear. That's green zone fear. Red zone fear is, fear of success, fear of failure. Two most common fears that people have in tandem, right? Crazy. So for you, it's just a matter of taking that quick second to assess, like, where am I at with this decision? Is this going to forward my game? And I love that. I love that saying all the time for me, because I'm very much the same. I'll say yes to almost anything, and then go, oh crap, what do I just do? But I want to help people. And this is a classic moment in my time now, where honestly it's probably the most rewarding period of time that I've ever had in any career and things that I've had, right? And just helping so many people. I've worked my ass off. There has not been a break since during lockdown and after. And even though I tried to have a week off, and then the second lockdown got announced, so I'm back on again. But like you, it's if you're doing something, if you understand what motivates you, that's the other side of the green side, is you've got to understand what motivates you. And when you understand what motivates you, you can then go, this is why I do what I do, right? So I'd 100% put money on legacy as one of your motivators. And then legacy for me, ex-financial planner for 10 years, right, was all about what you left behind when you popped your clogs, right? Whereas legacy now for me is every day. So doing things like this, right, if I can just help one person to one business owner to move forward, mate, that's legacy. Every day, every session that I have with a client is around leaving legacy. So for me, I understand what that's, and that helps driving my decision making to go, you know what, I really want to invest a bit of time in this person and this project because it will leave a legacy. So when you understand what motivates you, i.e. green zone side, but also understanding your red zone drivers as to what triggers you and what holds you back there, again, life can become so much simple, decision making so much easier. As I mentioned, I have a confused theme. So little things like, oh, what do we have for tea tonight? Which restaurant should we go to? It can be little things like that. And, I just, little philosophies like, yes, no. Do I want to do this, yes or no? Always trust what comes up. That's your gut feel, right?
And I say if it's not a yes, it's a no as well. If it's not a yes, it's a no.
Right? Yeah, and it's either one of those two, because it takes away all your inner critic, the little voice in your head. And that's where a lot of people sit with the sabotage. Usually it's just that little voice in your head that goes, who are you to do this? You can't do that. What if they say no? All stock standard that most people have. And I think if we can start to normalize that, and people can actually start to talk about the inner critic that they've got, there goes my inner critic again, and normalize it. In a lot of my clients' businesses, we've got like senior teams, partners, wives, husbands that are all talking the same thing. What did your inner critic just say then? Oh, how did you know? We've all got it. So if we can normalize that side of mindset, I think it will help to reduce so much stress, overwhelm, anxiety, particularly in business. And that's where my passion is, because most people, the poor old business owner, not a lot of people looking after business owners.
Yeah.
So that's why I've focused on that area of the market.
So we've got some comments coming in from Valerie. It says the alone thing is very much my trigger. Freeze is my reaction.
Yeah.
And then we've got Jessica. Hi, I procrastinate when there's something I don't want to do, like call people on the phone. Really, it's simple, but it's simple to do, but I put it off, which is not helpful. Any comments on procrastination?
Oh, 100%. That's the most common one. And again, professional procrastinator here in the past. And do I still do it at times? 100%, right? So for you, Jessica, just start to listen to what that little voice says, right? So I want to make that phone call. What is that voice saying, right? Don't psychoanalyze what it says. It's just being aware that that voice is there. And for you, you can just go, oh, hang about, there goes my inner critic again. Oh, crap, I'm in my red zone. Move. So awareness, choice, get into action, right? And if you just do that, and it's a moment by moment choice, it's a moment by moment thing, you will find that all of a sudden you pick up the phone and off you go. Sales is a classic. I get so many people go, but Phil, I'm not confident like you are. I'm not a sales guy. I'm not this. I'm not that. My God, if you'd have seen me when I started my career, I'd get up in front of doing a talk and I would just be a puddle of sweat and complete nerves, right? And to me, sales is just a conversation. Like we had a fantastic win with a new client yesterday. So I always start my meetings off with what are the wins, right? Because we too often focus on what's not working and forget what's working, right? But this lady is one of the big things she wanted to get out of the coaching was confidence. And at the moment in time, hey, we are in extraordinary circumstances, and sometimes traditional or what we think is traditional marketing isn't working. I got her to go door knocking, right? You should have seen the look on her face. 2 weeks ago, she was terrified. Right, it's just a conversation. If they say no, you're any worse situation. No, right? So she went door knocking and she shared her experience yesterday. She's picked up 2 extremely large corporate clients out of 3 visits. I mean, if that's not evidence, just fantastic. So again, just seeing what comes up there, be aware of it, but make the choice, get back into the green, because that's just red zone stuff when the inner critic's going on, right?
Yeah, I love it. You challenged her to literally up her brave and say what she wanted and make it happen. And she wanted confidence. That is awesome. That is so awesome. One thing I want to highlight is, so every time I'm listening to all the stuff that you do and how you help people, part of my concern in society is men and unhappy men. And I've written a parenting book, which many people know, and a lot of it is about the marriage and the relationship.
Yeah.
But I'm parenting, but confidence and men and women have people to talk to. And even in women entrepreneurial circles, we have a lot of Facebook groups and we can talk about how hard it is with our website or whatever. You know what? I'm sitting here going, Phil, can you please do something called Love Your Life as well as Love Your Business?
Oh, look, 100%. And the biggest part around mental health with blokes is that we do not share. And a lot of that comes from our not good enough themes. It comes from that not worthy type scenario. What will people think of us? We're supposed to be having it all together. We're supposed to be the business leader, the owner. We're supposed to know everything. And the reality is there's not a lot of awareness that goes on. One of the most favorite tools that I use for men in business and anybody in business, to be quite frank, is the 5 love languages.
Yes.
It was honestly the best thing you can do when you get a guy understanding how his wife feels loved and how he feels loved. And we've had whole teams of mechanics do it. It just, again, when the more and more that we can be aware as both men, women, kids, everybody, right? The more ability we've got to make those choices and really get on. Most of my clients, I seem to get a lot of couples. And I'm really big at making that stand on having extraordinary relationships, be whether with your significant other, your kids, but even the staff, there's it's a different level. Obviously, there's not, hopefully not intimacy and stuff like that, but it's about learning to have, what does that extraordinary relationship look like? How do you feel loved? How do you feel connected? How do you feel supported? What support do you need? Expectations is a massive one. The more we understand our expectations and the expectations of others, the less issues we have with communication and with the wheels falling off or getting triggered, but also the ability to be able to see behind somebody. So classic example this morning with a client, we've got one of their senior staff members has a double confused, right? And so quite ironic given the role he's in, he goes, oh, I don't know, and so his default is I don't know, because he's got that theme, and then he rings up the boss and asks the question, right? Triggers the boss because he's going, Mate, I'm paying you to do this job. But now that he can see past why he's doing it and understand that, okay, there's something he's triggered, the languaging's changed. The trigger severity is less and shorter. And now he, as a leader of the business, can help to coach his senior manager into, I go, dude, where are you at right now? Are you in your red or your green zone? Oh shit, I'm in my red. Okay, move. So there's no magic wand to this. I always say to people, I can't just go like this and ta-da, you'll live an amazing life. It takes a bit of work, but if I can simplify it, it makes the process a lot faster.
Tell us a little bit more about the themes. You've mentioned alone, confused. What are the others?
Oh, look, there's so many. There's devastated, terrified, scared, abandoned, unloved, unlovable, ugly is an interesting one that comes up from time to time. There's quite a depth of them. The most common themes that I see in business owners generally is confused, alone, not good enough, not worthy, devastated, angry. Sorry, that's another one. Terrified. I had a terrified the other day, a double whammy of terrified. So, you talk about deer and headlights type of stuff, right? This guy, when something triggers him, he probably, much like Jessica, freezes, right? Boom. And is terrified of making the wrong decision. So now that he understands that, when he starts to get that feeling, we can get him to move forward on it. So there's a whole lot of really interesting ones in there. And then you get the old random one from time to time as well. But part of the fun is actually uncovering them and then owning them. So I'm real big on owning your red zone as much as your green zone. And for me, like motivators, I'm not sure you'll see that too well, but they're not the name of my 3 kids. But love, freedom, legacy, for example, are the 3 things that motivate me.
Right.
So that's why my business has love in it. Not typically a business coaching or blokely type name for a business, but it's got my motivator in there, love your business. Freedom is why I do what I'm doing. I'm unemployable. I know that. That the freedom to help people, the freedom to do what I want to do, to create. And then legacy, as I've talked about, is just such a, now that I understand that, I now understand why I make the decisions that I do. And it keeps me to that side, because if I've got confused going on or not good enough or inner critic or I'm sabotaging myself, there's no love, freedom or legacy there, right?
I think this is so good. And I'm hoping that for people watching live or later, that this opens their eyes a little bit wider, because so often we get caught up in, oh, well, I need to update my website and I need an opt-in and I need to make sure that I've got, a call to action and I need to post on Instagram. Like there's so many things we can get caught up in. But what I love that you do is you peel back the onion, as you said, let's figure out what's sabotaging you. What's your tripwire? And let's just let's acknowledge that and let's change direction. So this is so valuable. Comment, you guys, if this is resonating with you. Comment if you feel like you have more awareness around what is sabotaging you. And if you've got any questions, Phil and I will both come back later. If there's questions, we can come back and we can comment on them as well. So definitely keep the conversation going. I wanted to ask you also, what's cool about you? This is the section where I ask, what's cool about you, just to get you. I mean, a lot of things you've mentioned are super cool, and I can tell that you're such an awesome, honest, approachable guy. Would be so much fun to work with for people. So we're going to talk about that, but tell us what's cool about you, what's coming up, and how can people connect with you?
Yeah, cool. I'm a different kind of guy, right? As you've probably seen, very open, very authentic, but a crazy range of experience. I totally confuse people because I'll sit down and do a spreadsheet and love accounting and then come up with the craziest marketing ideas, right? But again, it's because of the journey and the love for what I do and the passion for business. So to me, I think what's really cool is I live and breathe business. I'm also married to a midwife, so that makes life quite interesting. I know way too much around birth stories, and I could probably walk into a hospital, I reckon, and get away with it until I saw blood, and then I'd be all over. 3 daughters, big into rowing as well. So we've spent many hours and days and months at Lake Karapiro. And I still play rugby. So I've got a game tonight. If anybody's around Papamoa Domain, 6:30, come along and watch the Papamoa Potbellies play. It's not the most fastest game of rugby, but hey, we still have a good time.
That is very, very cool. All of that is cool. And I'm just going to chime in and mention, so I met you through, I think I saw a post on Facebook that you had done, or maybe PracMed had done about you. I can't remember. maybe that was it. So I got in touch with Simon at PracMed, Simon and Steph, and I was like, I want to interview you because I talk a lot about kids and emotions, but I don't talk about safety and first aid. So I interviewed him. You guys, if you didn't see that episode, it was very, very popular. It was probably one of my longest interviews because there's just so much to talk about. But go and have a look at that for sure. If you look up #UpYourBrave, you're going to come across a lot of interviews. So look at the one for Simon. Now, Simon is a client of yours, and that's how I connected with you. And then I said to my sister who lives in Tauranga, I said, oh, I'm interviewing this guy, Phil. And she's like, I know Phil. Our kids rode together. So small world.
New Zealand is a very small city.
All right. What have you got
coming up? Simon and Steph Rowe has been amazing. Just awesome.
How can people find out more, and what have you got coming up? I know that, like me, you are one of the registered providers. Is that right? With the New Zealand
Yes, correct.
Business Partners Network, where they're doing, it's so amazing. The government has put lots of dollars into funding to help businesses with health coaching, life coaching, and business coaching, you guys. So if you are a business owner and you haven't taken advantage of that, definitely think about what is the gap in your business or your life or your health, because there's dollars available for funding. So both Phil and I are available for funding. So can you tell us how people can work with you? What does that look like?
Yeah, absolutely. So 4 ways we can help. One is join our Love Your Business and Thrive business groups. There's, again, heaps of really good people on there, and we're really supportive of everybody helping each other. To me, that's what it's all about. So that's nice and free. One of our coaches, business partner Dow's running a Be Bold mindset. So that's exactly everything I was talking about, red and green zone. We call it the Be Bold process. So that's a short 12-week intensive on that. So that's starting shortly. All the information's on our website. We're also, as you mentioned, regional business partner approved. So, honestly, don't hesitate. Get yourself registered. Get a voucher. It is amazing, the work that's come out of that. Absolutely love every minute of it. And it's, don't wait. Don't get stuck in the confuse on that one. And obviously, we also run one-on-one coaching, group coaching. Anybody can get hold of me at any time. Flick me a message through Facebook or send me an email. All our information's on our website, loveyourbusiness.co.nz. Also LinkedIn, love my LinkedIn as well. So yeah, if you want to find me, you'll find me.
I love that. Can you also maybe follow up, Phil, and give us, or just message it to me or pop it in the chat later, the link to your free group for sure? Yes. Because it's so good to just get this dialogue going for people to realize you're not the only one finding it hard. You're not the only one who sabotages in various different ways. I love that you've got that course coming up. And you guys, if you did want to get the funding, my understanding is you don't need to be GST registered. You just need to be a company. And you need to have seen a loss as a result of COVID. And if that's you, you can apply. I've got 10 clients at the moment, one-on-one, because so many people are applying for it. It takes about a week or two to maybe get it all jigged up, but it's totally worth it.
Totally worth it. Yeah.
Amazing. Okay, awesome. So before we wrap it up, is there anything else you want to add around the whole love your business and stop sabotaging theme?
Yep, absolutely. So 3 things, if I can get you to take this away. One is keep it simple. Right, keep life simple, keep mindset simple, and for goodness sake, keep business simple. It's not that complicated. Sales, price, cost of goods sold, expenses equals profit. That's business, right? Everything fits in there. So number 1, keep it simple. Number 2, make sure that you've got a big vision. Big vision plus action, right, is what it's all about. If you've got a big vision and no action, that's called a daydream. If you've got action and no big vision, that's just called being busy, right? So make sure you've nailed that big vision. And then the third one is so important. Forget the how, right? The how is a death knell to any possibility. Most people get so stuck in the how that they don't do anything, right? I cannot tell you how many stories that we've got around when people set the big vision, the how shows up always, 100% always. So keep business, keep mindset simple, big vision, and forget the how.
Those are such wise words, and they're so aligned with my philosophy. So I'm just so excited to connect with you, like on a business level and as a peer, also the impact that you're having. And I feel like, because I help the people who help the people, that is what I do. And if I can shine the light on you, and if I can help you to do your thing, and please consider starting a Love Your Life man support group. I think that would be amazing. Congratulations on everything that you're doing. It's been incredible to spend some time with you today.
Awesome. Likewise, Ian. Thank you so much for the invite. And again, everybody out there, don't be strangers. Ask for support. That's what this time particularly is all about. So
Totally. Awesome. Thank you guys so much for watching. Make sure you check out the other episodes. There's quite a few. You can check those out on nataliecutlerwelsh.com/video series. If you do want more revenue and more help in your business, I also have Thank You Club. If you haven't seen that, it's a great way to give and gain referrals and get another revenue stream. If you want a little bit of a side hustle, you know I'm into my oils, you can join my oil team and definitely get in touch. If you're just like, Nat, do you know anyone who... Yes, I do, because I am the go-to girl. I'm like the connector. That's what I love doing the most. So remember to stay in the zone of love, you guys. And until next time, remember to up your brave, say what you want, and make it happen. See you.